Okay, so y'all might find me back over here. We're continuing part two on this one. Hopefully, y'all catch your notifications. Um, yeah, I don't know. I know what y'all thinking, but I will tell you this too. Um, some of the area that I'm in and Atlanta is having outages, and we got notifications from service providers just saying that the Wi-Fi and whatnot was just basically problematic. It was going to be out or whatever, so we have to use an external router. But it's possible, and that should be a different provider, so it really shouldn't be an issue. So I'm just putting it in here, and we're just gonna chill out and see who joins us, who comes back. It's Friday night, so it's not a big deal. And actually, what I was saying, I don't know if y'all can hear me now. It's something I probably gonna make a video out of since that happened. So don't sweat it. Don't worry about it. It can be. We can still move forward. You know, one of the things that I can say that I have learned from watching Coach Prime is God is clearly not done with me yet. Let me know if y'all can hear me. First of all, thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, so let me know if you can hear me. All right. So, all right, y'all. So we just chilling. It's actually the weekend. It's not a big deal. I'm checking to see if I can see it myself. All right, so I can see myself to know that I'm still moving. So we'll see if people find us. They might not. Does everybody have happy it's the weekend, or y'all have to work, or you off? Drop your area code in the chat. If you're new to the channel, let us know where you from. That's so funny. Colorado has this thing that they picked up from Jimmy Horn Jr. And it's like, we ready right now. Like in that Florida accent. N-A-H, N-A-N-A-H, ready right now. Something like that. Or maybe N-A-W, I don't know. But it's hilarious to me. And I think that's going to be I heard them say it when they were working out. So I think that's going to be their thing. All right. Let's see. Just checking to see if people gonna come back. Okay, that's another one. Hold on one second. All right, so let's see. All right. People starting to find their way back. All right, so I can see myself. So that's good. I think it's funny. I didn't know that the comments come across the screen, so I have a chance to see that. All right, y'all. Welcome back. Hey, Charlotte. Welcome back. We just giving everybody a minute to realize we over here. That's why I say turn your notifications on. There's been outages in the area that I live in Atlanta with the internet. So I don't want y'all to think it's nothing else, because we did get a notification that they were having some service outages or whatever. And I hate to say it, but it happens a lot. I just hate to say it. So bear with me or whatever. And it's the weekend, so I'm here. I'm here because I told y'all what my plan was. But what I was saying was one of the things that I've learned from since we've been following Coach Prime, is how forgiving he is. I guess how you can't tell when he's bothered, except for the Texas Tech game. And you know what? That was warranted though. Who remembers the Texas Tech game when Coach Prime had to go at a ref because they was cheating us, and he got tired of it, and he was like, he got upset, and I was like, go ahead, Coach Prime, because that's what needed to happen. And sometimes we think Coach Prime need to go at people, but he got his way of handling things. But understand, he know exactly who the NFL is. So I don't know if y'all had a chance to listen to what he dropped today. I see you, like that type of thing. It's a message for sure. And he's cool, calm, and collected, just like Shedeur. And I don't know if y'all realize it. Y'all know Shedeur was actually dressed like Coach Prime back in the day on draft night. He had on his draft fit. And see, they wanted him to come to Green Bay so they could humiliate him, right? But he stayed there, and I think they was pissed off about it, right? So, what did they do to him? Try to embarrass him, but it wasn't a big deal. It's the way he handled it. And just like when he got to Cleveland, you could tell that they weren't very inviting and welcoming to him when his friends did this and he didn't, right? And then you finally saw him do it. You see him laughing and talking to Flacco, and I just feel like he's just being himself now. Now, some people say they think that a coach told him to be himself. I don't believe that. I just think that he did what needed to be done. And to me, that was just a celebration. He balled out, bro. He balled out. And everybody's talking about it. And the conversation, like I said, can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me. Remember that game? Okay, yeah, you can, because Charlotte responded. Okay, thank you. So yeah, students were throwing tortillas and water bottles. Colorado went into hostile territory. I know Nebraska, Arizona State, if y'all remember that game. Of course, not North Dakota, Colorado State, both times. Remember the daddy's money? See, that's just jealousy. The daddy's money. Whenever they start pointing to a black person's money, because they don't want you to have it. So they mad that he was going to get paid to get even richer. So they say that's why it happened. No, it didn't. So again, climbing over ladders and hurdles and everything to try to justify it. And even though people are arguing about it, they're arguing and saying he's not a fifth rounder. And they're like, this is happening because they don't want him to start because you can't let him go in front of Dylan Gabriel. What did we say the other day? I said it. I said they do not want Shedeur Sanders to be better than Dylan Gabriel. So what did I say earlier today? They sticking to the script. The script is he was drafted in the 5th round, stick to it. They really think that's going to fly? All they doing is exposing themselves to not be about winning games, to not be about building teams in the draft. Like, how far are you going to tear down your brand? Remember that plantation that caught on fire? Very, very, very symbolic. Very symbolic. Because it just caught on fire, right? And then they just got exposed and they trying everything to hold this young man back. And what does he know? He just watched his father go through it. He also said what? He said, I knew what my father went through. So Coach Prime went through it. He went through it. So, and Shedeur saw it, right? So, the whole thing is it's futile, in my opinion. They attacking Coach Prime like they don't know him and he survived what they did before, right? He survived it. And you still trying because it means that much to them because they don't want Shedeur and the Kings on the throne. They know what's going to happen. It's already happening. People pointing it out. Damn, they talking about Shiloh and you don't even know who else got drafted to the Bucks. Facts. Do y'all know anybody else that went to the Bucks? I have no clue. I have no clue. I only know who played for the Panthers because their social media is on it. And today Cleveland tried it to be, relevant pop culture wise, like the Panthers. And most people were like, this don't work for y'all. Because it was corny for them, but it was cool and it was hip and it was fun with the Panthers. So they trying to try it. Y'all know how Wendy's have that social media that, clap back. That's what the Panthers have. And that's what they try to use the GTA. Something happened before OTAs ended before GTA 6 came out. And people was like, what? Context. They like, we don't expect that from y'all. But when the Panthers did it, yeah, glow. And they shared a picture of her with a snippet from her new album that's supposed to be coming out June 6th or something. Everybody got it and liked it. So it just depends on the team and how fans perceive you, I know who plays for the Panthers, actually more than I know who plays for the Bucks, but I know Shiloh plays for the Bucks. They talk about Shiloh a lot. And I'm sure now that they have this, what seems like downtime to me, meaning it's not OTAs anymore, we probably going to see more of them because Shiloh definitely Twitch streamed from the golf tournament, right? So, this is part 2 of was Coach Prime a scapegoat? The answer is yes. I think we know that, So we can really talk about anything else if y'all want to, because we kind of talked about it over there. But I think it's just sad to me how decent of a person he is, and they trying to tear him down. And I get what people say when they like this is about principalities, the spiritual realm. I get it, but the spiritual realm is using human beings to do it, and you don't have to partake. You don't have to be used. Like Andrew Berry, he does not allow. He does not. If he's good, why could he get a job as a GM somewhere else, where he could have integrity and respect and not be made the joke by people saying, oh, he gonna get scammed out of his picks. They were talking about him. So even the people you trying to impress are putting you down. So why would you let them use you like that? Right? And now over the weekend, all you're gonna start to see is videos about Jackson Dart not being good. That's not a surprise. And they didn't care. That's what it should let you know. They didn't care. And that's what happened in the draft. They didn't care. We don't care. We know how much money Shedeur could make us. We don't care. It was more important that he would not go in the first round and he get as far away from QB1 as possible. And now Cleveland is continuing with the script, sticking to the script. Let me see what y'all saying here. It said they're going to have to keep him off the field when all the vets return. Once everyone sees him, they will be calling him to play. That's what they said. They said the next thing for Shedeur to do when he get the opportunity to play in the preseason is to ball out. But guess what we need to make sure that he could ball out? A what? Right. So hopefully he made friends with some of them. But he was friends with some of them last year. It clearly wasn't enough. It wasn't enough people. So, that's my only concern. That's my only concern. And I would think, you're trying to make a team because they got a lot of new people. You're trying to make a team. You would think that wouldn't, happen. But, Caleb Williams, Bryce Young, Justin Fields, all excessively sacked. It don't happen to other people like that. It said, man, what does that say? You can't wait to get what as well? I don't know. It says, K. Hayes says it was definitely a wake-up call for Coach Prime. He thought his relationships was more solid than they truly were. Right, K. Hayes? And see, the whole thing of it is, think about this. They had him in that ring of honor, and they had Shedeur in the flag football game. Now you have to ask yourself, was that really genuine? If Roger Goodell said what he said, it's likely that was a plot to make Shedeur feel comfortable, that we want you around, we see you as a celebrity, and then they go and do what? You ain't nobody on draft day. So it's like they reeled them both in. And that's why I say, how far back does this plot go? Is it the Vegas Super Bowl? It's possible. It's very, very possible. He will be a starter. See, people say, oh, the owner like him. I don't see that. I know people say it. I just don't see it, because if this is your team, why would you allow this? I asked the same question about the NFL. Why would you allow the media to disparage your draft prospects? That don't make no sense. Then we found out why, because they was in on it. So now move over here to Cleveland. Why would the owners of the Cleveland Browns allow this foolishness when Shedeur is obviously the best person if he picked him? Because he probably in on it. I don't know why y'all think this man is not in on this. I don't even see how y'all even say that after what you saw what happened. How many times did Cleveland pass up Shedeur? 5 or 6 times. So I don't know why y'all think he's not on it. I have no idea why people think that. I think he's in on it. He's the one that said we took a big swing and miss with Deshaun Watson publicly. That never had to be said public. You threw your GM under the bus, and you was essentially telling him, I'm going to fire you if you draft Shedeur. But I'm not so sure they took a big swing and missed with Deshaun Watson if he got an 8-4 record. I just read something before this podcast that said that was a disaster. I'm like, okay. Is it because he hurt? Is that why it's such a disaster? Because an 8-4 record is not too shabby. And then you rotating quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks rotate through 7 games. That's weaponizing instability. Thank you. And it says, Jimmy trying to get that new stadium. I mean, if you wanted to get a new stadium, Shedeur would be your number 2 pick. And he would be wearing the number 2 jersey. And you let every camera that wanted to see. That's how you get a stadium. It's funny, Jacksonville just got a stadium approved too. I don't know how long ago it was, but they just got a new stadium approved. But hell, with Travis, they're going to sell it out. They're going to be sold out the next few years. Now, Cleveland might be sold out. I think they said, they have good attendance at their games. So I guess people just put up with it. And maybe that's why he don't care what happens, because just like in New York, they have the same type of fan base. They're going to show up anyway. But I think it was Kiel that told us that the Giants fans started to push back after what happened with Saquon Barkley. And supposedly the GM is on the clock. But he drafted Jackson Dart. And to me, that's another reason why they did Shedeur the way they did, because they didn't want to get Shedeur. But if my job is in trouble and I get this guy that's not good, I need a reason why I'm going to get him. Oh, Shedeur is not good. He entitled. Yeah, he not that good anyway. So that's why they defamed him. And as you can see, no other team did. And the NFL went along with it because that's what they wanted to do. That's why they also gave his phone number out to 2,000 people. When you put all that together, they've been planning this. There's so much that was said before the draft that he never even had to be a part of their draft process at all. So he will eventually start is not good enough. He's a starter now. And he better not get sacked excessively, because that's going to be a problem too. It said, yes, I heard they still sell out even though they lose. See, that's what happens. That's what happens. See, the Saints don't have that benefit, I don't believe. Even though their stadium got a nice makeover and whatnot, I don't think they benefit from that. I think the Giants, I don't think the Titans benefit from that either. I know it's Cleveland, and then I know the Giants. So, they say the Carolina Panthers owner, they say they think he finally stepped back because he was doing too much meddling too. And they had a whole mess about with Bryce Young, and he was a Heisman winner. See, that's to me what they doing. It's like, if you black, oh, don't worry about it. If you want a Heisman, who cares? You still could go number 32 because we want you to switch to wide receiver. Bryce Young, you a Heisman, you ain't that good. They don't want these young black QBs coming in and starting. They ain't want Shedeur in the first round. You think they want him to start? Now they got to find out how to keep him off the field, because they're going to realize it. This is what people starting to realize. They're going to be back in their conference rooms looking at each other. Somebody going to be trying to convince somebody else that Dylan Gabriel should be in front of Shedeur, and that Flacco and Kenny Pickett. I'm like, you know what? From what I've learned from Coach Prime, I'm going to just wait. We just going to wait and see, because it's not going to work out. The unexpected is not being planned for. They never planned for the unexpected. They didn't expect the prank to come out. They didn't expect 47 to call. They didn't expect for I guess they didn't expect to be fined for a data breach, because clearly they didn't. But they didn't expect it to come out that they gave out Shedeur Sanders' phone number. See, that's why the NFL is quiet right now. They making some scenes behind them. The script that Cleveland is keeping up is not because Cleveland want to keep it up. Cleveland wanted to get Shedeur. And then the script got flipped. And Coach Prime became the scapegoat. As badly as Cleveland needed a quarterback, as badly as Tennessee needed a quarterback, they didn't want to get Cam at first, but the Browns wanted Shedeur, and they said Coach Prime wasn't going to be a problem. It's on video. Somewhere on video, because I saw it. And I was like, well, that's good. Maybe, then that's why I was like, I can see Shedeur in Cleveland. And I know Coach Prime never expected Andrew Berry to stab him in the back like that, unless Andrew Berry sent Coach Prime a text, there's some shit going down. And that's the only way. The Cleveland Clowns, yep. And their loyal puppet, the reporter. Okay. Who said that, Salafi? It said the bet players are going to raise hell. They want the best chance to win. See, that's the thing. You can only get so many people to be okay with losing. You got to get the right people. You can't get somebody who's really, really good and they want to go to the Super Bowl and you don't. You can't do it. That's like Dallas and Dak. That whole situation is just crazy to me. How they could say he's a developmental QB, which in my opinion is an insult after 9 years and $250 million. I don't know what the hell is going on in Dallas, but they don't care about the Super Bowl. Not at all. And it was funny how Michael Parsons got upset. He get his contract yet? Because I think he got a contract that he's supposed to be getting from them, and he didn't get that yet. So that ought to tell him that he shouldn't have said nothing after the guy that left said, "I'm glad I'm going to another team because I was never going to win a Super Bowl there." And Michael Parsons got in his feelings and was like, "Why would you wait to leave to say it?" Because he still want to keep his job, but he want to be truthful at the same time. And you can't say that with the Dallas Cowboy uniform on. You can leave and say it, right? And hope they don't follow you to the next team, and it probably won't. Because the teams compete. I've seen how the teams go after other people's persons and this, that, and the other. The owners collude. The teams compete. The Saints OC trying to draft his son next season. Oh, I've heard that. He go to LSU, something like that. And that could be it. That could be it. But I'm not mad at that because the Saints, yeah. It said to attempt to dupe and spew fragmented truth and wholesome lies about money. Right. Cleveland lost their quarterback to injury dozen times a year. Sacks are a Cleveland situation. Now you see, what have I tell y'all about sacks? What can you weaponize? Instability at the QB rotation, the O-line. We already know that. That's why I said let Flacco go first. That's why I said it. They was like, you might as well let Shedeur play. I'm like, I need to see how this O-line gonna work. Let Flacco go first. That way, if the O-line look good and then suddenly they don't know how to play like they did CJ Stroud in his sophomore year, and he out with a shoulder injury. See, excessive sacks can disrupt your career. But maybe that's what they want. Because I put Daniel Jones behind Anthony Richardson, and I said when he was healthy, oh, he should have stayed in school. He probably gonna lose that job. Well, now he out. So let me see what you're gonna do. See, it was like they sent Daniel Jones to try to take Anthony Richardson's jobs, and what they started doing, disparaging Anthony Richardson. And now he out hurt. So guess what? It's yours. Let's see what you do with it. It's almost like they didn't expect him to take over. They just wanted to breathe down Anthony Richardson's neck and to have a constant reminder that you're not here for long. That's harassment. Understand that that's what it is. Now we don't know how long CJ Stroud is out. So if CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson are out, that's 2, right? That knocks them off by 2. They never had to even mess with Shedeur. You see, that's what I mean by they didn't think this through. They didn't think this through at all. Yeah, you might have kept him out the draft, but you kept him out the draft thinking everybody you already had as a black QB that are starters was gonna play. And now you missing 2. So you back to where you were before. And now they talking about they want Jackson Dart to start, and he don't even look good. He's struggling. Of course he's struggling. They knew what it was. They knew what it was. They trashed Muro at Alabama so Jackson Dart could have a leg up on him and said Muro was trash, and their QBR ratings are less than 0.2% apart. So if Muro trash, guess who else is trash? You see how that worked? But they spun the narrative to get Dart number 1 in the SEC so they could try to say what? How many times y'all heard them say, and we talked about this, and I said they finna do something stupid. Jackson Dart gonna sneak into the first round. What did I say? Why you got to sneak? Because they know you're not good. See, they told on themselves. We know he's not better than Shedeur. So we defamed Shedeur so we could get Dart in here without any question. Oh, there will be questions. Why is Russ not starting? Just like I want to know why the hell did Cleveland not hire Russ? They interviewed him. Why didn't Cleveland get Russ? Oh, they didn't want Russ, Deshaun Watson, and Shedeur. That's what it is. Just like the Giants didn't want Shedeur, Shedeur, Pittsburgh, who's that? Russ and Winston. That's 3. They okay with 2 behind a white QB, but not a black. Not 1, 2, 3. Because guess what happens? If something happens to Jalen Hurts, DTR right behind him. But that's the way they want it. They want them stacked together because they're not making any gains. But they don't realize what you're gonna do if Jackson Dart don't materialize. Oh, nothing, because we want to get in 2 years who we want to get. The Mannings. So they don't care. They just as happy overpaying him, just like they overpaid Trevor Lawrence. And Coach Prime had to be the scapegoat so they could justify why they didn't want to get a black quarterback in New York when they never had one. Maybe they don't want to appear what? Maybe that's why the owners took him off the board and stuck with the entitled lie that even 3 teams didn't say nothing about that. Because why? They didn't want him to get close to QB1. They playing keep away with the QB1 position, and Coach Prime was the scapegoat to make it happen. And they felt like they got away with it, and they did, because Shedeur didn't become the 17th QB. Milroe didn't become the 18th. But guess what? Now they missing CJ Stroud and Anthony Richardson. So go ahead on and take your Daniel Jones that you know failed already, and you overpaid him $14 million so he could prove himself, not prove himself. I like it. Because you're not trying to win a Super Bowl anyway, so what the hell am I going to sacrifice my body for? What the hell am I going to sacrifice and be stressed for? Y'all had me sacked excessively, so hell, I'm hurt. So, enjoy. Let me see what you do with it. See, now they're going to have all this mediocrity moving up to the front, and the fans going to be pissed. Because it's going to be just mediocrity playing mediocrity. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be exciting. It's going to be boring. Shedeur is exciting to watch. But they didn't care about that. He could have made a gaggle of money. They didn't care about that. It was more important to preserve what? It was more important to play keep away with the QB1 position for Shedeur and for Milroe. And Coach Prime was just a scapegoat. That's why they never talked about Milroe. If they would have talked about Milroe, you would have asked, well, why you didn't get him either? It's only a few of us doing that. I'm probably one of the few people talking about Milroe. They didn't talk about it. And that's why they didn't talk about it, because they didn't want it to be obvious. So I got 3 elite black QBs that should go in the first round to multiple, more than 3 QB needy teams. And don't none of y'all draft neither one of them? It becomes more obvious when you say Milroe and Shedeur, especially when you know Milroe has a what comp? Who are his comps? Did you hear anybody in the draft say Milroe is a comp for Michael Vick? It would be great to have Michael Vick's exciting style of play mixed in with Lamar Jackson athleticism. And they say they thought he was more athletic than Lamar Jackson. And he ran a 4.37. Shit, he should have been the first off the board. But they were like, he is inaccurate within 10 yards. I'm like, that's what quarterback coaches are for. And they were supposed to have some kind of developmental camp. Maybe that's what the rookie mini camp was. Do we hear about Milroe? No. But they want to start putting Jackson Dart out there, but he's struggling. Maybe they don't care if he's struggling. They just want to see him. Or they want y'all to see him. Or people they want to come to the games to see him. But he's struggling. But they don't even talk about Cam. They don't talk about Cam. They don't talk about Milroe. And they don't want to talk about Shedeur. But they can't stop that. See, that's just like Coach Prime. They tried to get rid of him like they did Herm Edwards in year 1 at CU. Sabotaging the program, giving the plays away. But the Prime effect. So Shedeur got his own effect. And the unexpected is the fans showing up. And they're going to be right here waiting to see him get in that top spot. And I'm also happy that not that people are arguing, but there are real conversations. On one side, it's about the ridiculousness and the reasons, and people are challenging the excuses that some of these analysts are giving that Coach Prime is too involved in his son's life, or they thought he was going to take their jobs. People are challenging that because they know Coach Prime was made a scapegoat. But why? To conceal the truth about they playing keep away with QB1, and it's gonna become evident every day we move away from yesterday. People already asking why he didn't get no first team reps, and they put it out there. They were like, why y'all putting it out there that he was the only one not to get first team reps? Because they stupid enough to think we gonna think, oh, he must not be good. Again, they making these irrational decisions because it's so important to keep Shedeur away from QB1, but it don't matter now because CJ Stroud, if he out for good and Richardson out for good. But then Shedeur got another thing that comes with him, the face of the league. Cam was never face of the league. They ain't even talk about Milrose, so he wasn't going to be face of the league. You can't stop Shedeur from being the face of the league. You can't even stop him from being number one in jerseys. The only way that's going to change is what I'm starting to see happen. Travis's people got their jerseys, so people going to feel comfortable ordering that. And once they realize they can't get Shedeur jersey after all this time and they've been waiting and they say, you know, they don't know what the number is, that could slow down the sales of his jerseys. But who cares now? It's already said and done. And if you had to manipulate the numbers to put Travis jerseys in front of Shedeur, okay, whatever. He went to Colorado too. That's still good for Coach Prime, right? Still good for the program. It's just a constant reminder. So go ahead. But see, they wanted to rub in Shedeur's face. They wanted to use Travis to split him apart from Shedeur. That ain't gonna work, partner. That's why they like brothers. See you about to shock the world. This team is good. Yeah. This team, that Georgia Tech game, I'm telling y'all, that's gonna be good. This is good. Juju out here lifting weights like he 18. I don't even think he 18 yet. I'm like, look at Juju. Juju was lifting the whatever they was doing, lifting weights effortlessly. Juju's, now that he graduated, to me, the weight seems to be off. Not that it was difficult or anything, because I think he just had to take the extra classes in the summer, and he might have had some online stuff. He already familiar with CU now because he already been down there. He already know the guys now because, you know, he been there. So he comfortable. He's not new. And they all cool together. And he got his friends on the team. And, you know, they all, like today, they were all doing like their crunches and stuff. And working on their obliques, and somebody was calling out the numbers, but they were all doing it. So, you know, they have leaders of the team emerging. You know, Jordan Seaton, to me, I think actually might be the leader of the Buffs. I really do. And I don't think it's just the O-line. When they all together, I think it's Seaton. I think they looking up to him too. It's something about his presence and his natural leadership, right? So it said, and Coach Prime got the most wide receiver drafted. Right. And I'm like, y'all say he not good, but all his wide receivers is in the damn NFL. And I hope to hear something soon about Will Shepherd. I reached out to him, but I didn't expect him to respond anytime soon. But Will might hear something, you know, soon from somebody. So I just wished him well, and, you know, told him, the podcast community, What She Said Sports, wanted, you know, to just know how he doing and wish him well, and, you know, best wishes. So that was it. That was it. It said, Nolo, you go in on them hard. I mean, to be honest, I think because we removed from the draft, I think people have forgotten what they did. I think they took two people who are both really good people and tried to separate a father and a son so they can control the son, because that's what they upset about, that he has his own mind, that he can think for himself, and that his father is there to guide him. That's evil. But they don't do that to nobody else. They respect Arch Manning, and they act like they respected Coach Prime, but they would never sacrifice the senior Arch Manning. They would never do that. And there were people, when Eli was being drafted by the Chargers, that blamed the Chargers. Why would y'all pick him anyway? Y'all know y'all not good. You see what I'm saying? But Coach Prime gets trashed for constructive criticism. when Shedeur was 16. And they made you think that was recent. They just wanted somebody to beat up on because they weren't happy about the changes that are being made to the league. They don't want to turn on the TV and watch two black quarterbacks go head to head every week. Why y'all think it's nobody that's giving competition to Josh Allen in the division that he in? It's just one person. I feel like it's Tua, but it could be somebody else. I forgot. We looked at the chart yesterday. His look wide open. And they doing this, and it seems like they trying to match the climate of what's going on in the country, right? Well, what's also going on right now? Two people who seem to be bros are fighting on social media. One telling the other secrets. And they say he had a black eye. I saw it, but I don't know what happened. So something going down. And that's called pointing the finger. And that's what's going to happen in the NFL. Because, see, when you have the big box channels fighting with each other on the same shows, and it's divided by racial lines, y'all done messed up. Because 133 million people watch Kendrick Lamar perform in the Super Bowl. Just a reminder, Sam Darnold is injury prone. Seattle's offense is set up for Milroe. Right. It said Darnold needed Justin Jefferson to look competent. Oh, that's Minnesota. Okay, I got it. Thank you. That's good. That's good to know. It said he needed Justin Jefferson to look competent. The team isn't set up for Darnold at all. Interesting. Now, you know what? Excuse me, y'all. That is interesting because there's already been two articles that insist the same way they insist about Shedeur not being a starter, or that's what they're saying. He probably won't get to play this year. I'm like, they will burn that place down. I'm serious. And I'm going to give them the damn match. I'm going to give them the damn lighter fluid. I'll be like, you need some lighter fluid? Let me know. We ride at dawn. I'm serious. Not physically, but verbally, the internet going to go crazy. The internet is going to go crazy. The internet showed up for Shedeur the same way the internet showed up for Travis. Same but different. So people still on it. And through the weekend, guess what they're going to be pointing out? Dart. Then I'm probably going to be the one talking about Milroe. I don't know why I'm the only person talking about Milroe. Come on. Look, Lamar Jackson and Michael Vick, everybody should be talking about that because they don't talk about it. See, a lot of people pick up on what people talk about. I talk about what needs to be said. That's just what I talk about. Like, I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about tonight because I had two topics. I can clear through next week because I have notes. And I'm like, okay, I don't look at the trends. I look at what's happening and I'll have an opinion about it. And I just show up with it. Because I was like, probably next I'm going to talk about how Cleveland is mishandling Shedeur. That needs to be discussed. See, it needs to be discussed because I see people trying to skate by with the narrative that he was in the 5th round. And I also see people fighting about it, arguing and challenging that ridiculousness. And I say, see, that's why they did it. That's why they pushed him out as far as possible, which was going to be undrafted. Because why? So he don't get to the 1st round. Because if he in the 1st round, how you going to keep him from starting? It would have been hard for him to go to Cleveland. And the money is not the issue because you see they overpay for mediocrity, right? I was going to use a thumbnail with Trevor Lawrence right next to Shedeur, and that probably is going to irritate the hell out of people. But it's a valid argument. Shedeur got devalued, and Trevor Lawrence gets overpaid. You see? So, my thing is, that's what I want to talk about next. Yes, Coach Prime was a scapegoat. Coach Prime survived his own attack. And guess what did it? The Prime effect. Something Herm Edwards didn't have. And then his son got attacked for the same exact reasons because they don't want you in these places of power and prestige and influence and be the face of anything and making decisions because quarterbacks are the kings because they make decisions. They lead the team. They don't want him to lead a franchise. And has nothing to do with Coach Prime. He's overqualified to lead a franchise because he's probably the only quarterback on their field that you're supposed to practice the way you gonna play. And that's why he looks so damn good, because he's pro-ready, and they don't want to admit it because they don't want Shedeur Sanders to lead an NFL franchise. Because they also know that while his father has a prime effect, they're talking about Coach Prime going to overshadow it. I'm like, well, you clearly not paying attention, because Shedeur got his own effect, and it's not called Sanders Nation. He's just good from football. They want to stick to the script. He's not that good. He got picked in the 5th round, so he got to earn his way. And guess what the hell he did with it, with the opportunity? Seized the moment, and we all saw. And now they set him up because why? They didn't let him get first-round reps. So what they're doing is what? That's the excuse that they're going to give. They're going to have a problem. Because then people going to get upset because they like, that's why you didn't give him first string reps. So they still with it. And I said yesterday, we're going to see if they still with the foolishness. Because I told y'all what my plan was for the weekend. Hey, how you doing? How you doing? Shedeur is better than Cam. Yeah, he is. Overpaid. Yep, they don't mind overpaying Trevor Lawrence. They don't mind overpaying Daniel Jones, but they want to undervalue and underpay Shedeur. And I heard somebody say this, and it irked me. They said, they said, I mean, it's a blessing that you get a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders for $4 million. That pissed me off because it was done out of malice. Let's be clear about that. Somebody better pay this man. It was done out of malice. And they're not going to kick him around like they've been doing Deshaun. What did they do? Give him $240 million so they can keep him in the league and kick him around and hold him up to be a horrible example? What, they think that's all of us? You're not going to kick Shedeur around like that. See, Deshaun Watson clearly didn't have an effect. What Shedeur does. Maybe it's the Sanders effect. I don't know. Hell, Shiloh got one too. It's going to be interesting what happened down there in Tampa. My only critic of Spire was playing checkers and not playing chess. Shedeur will be just fine, and Coach Prime will be dominant. I mean, you can't blame Coach Prime for believing that they valued him. This man been around these people since 1989. And then they, it's not like when he went to the Ring of Honor, that was his first time seeing them. Remember, Roger Goodell's grandson was on Coach Prime's roster at Jackson State. How's that for being stabbed in the back? Makes it personal, don't it? So maybe when Coach Prime said, I see you, maybe he talking about him because he talking about somebody. 5th round, Blues wrote a script about it, and here it goes. So, that's what it is. I can't really see what that is. It said collusion. Oh, I think that's what that is. Collusion. Yeah, that's what it is. And I don't think they're afraid of collusion, but they should have been. But they see, once again, they show me their weaknesses. You think they was going to sue you. You wasn't expecting the fans to sue you. You weren't expecting, Cleveland wasn't expecting the fans to show up. But you see, they still proceeding forward with the foolishness about him being a 5th round QB. So that means that more of the truth is going to have to be exposed. This is going to continue until they beg for mercy or they do the right thing. It's one or the other. And I think they the way they want to fall on the sword, they're going to end up begging for mercy, which means they're going to pick up the phone and call somebody and say, hey, we got too many quarterbacks. Y'all need a starter? Because the fans can make that happen. 133 million people watch Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl. So we're going to get out of here. This was awesome. We made it another 44 minutes. Thank y'all for hanging out. I don't know what y'all doing tonight, but thank y'all for hanging out. Thank y'all for hanging out. This was good. Yes, Coach Prime was a scapegoat. Next, we moving on to Cleveland mishandling Shedeur. We'll be talking about that and other things. CU, I'm still, I'm watching CU, but I am still, paying attention to Shedeur because what's going on is in a critical place. And, but I watch, I still watch the guys and, do their conditioning, talk about them. But that is what my effort will probably be. So, until they get it right or get the hell out the way, one of the two. So thank y'all so much for coming back and finding me. Turn your notifications on. If you're new with us, please subscribe. But for sure, turn on your notifications. And if you didn't hit the like button on your way in, please hit the like button on your way out. I'll be back tomorrow night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We might play a game. We just might have our game night tomorrow night and just chill out and vibe. So if you can join us, it will be awesome. If not, we'll see you the next night, Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. as we get ready to head back into the week. Okay, thank y'all so much for watching What She Said Sports Nighttime Vibes. I appreciate it. Thank you. Elijah say, I still want that hat. I bet if they knew about CU aunties, they never would have drafted Shedeur. You know, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible. But he's just gonna go somewhere else, and that's why they still had him in the draft. Hey Val, how you doing? It say afraid of the cognitive thinking and the money. Yeah, and his fans, right, right. But they were willing to exploit and abuse and embarrass and humiliate. Excuse me, and humiliate. That's crazy to me. How do you think you're gonna do all of that without no backlash in the modern era? That's their weakness, the way they think. All right, so I'm gonna see y'all later. I'll see y'all later. Have a good night. Maybe I'm gonna close sing my song. They told me bust out my AP. Perfect timing. Yup. So I'm gonna have to go learn the lyrics. I'll see y'all later.